Hello everyone, I'm War, and I'm back with Devlog number 4, if I remember correctly. So, this week I had a lot more documentation to make, a lot of writing, not so much active development, so sorry I don't have much to show. But to start off, I finished the shadow system, so the main mechanic of the game is done, mostly. The shadows now, they replicate any and all actions recorded by the recorder, which is an entity that its sole purpose is to pass inputs to the shadows for later use. And they are working great, the shadows. They actually work the same as the player, as I said in the previous devlog. They use the same inputs and the same system overall, so if a player, for example, if you press the pickup button when there are no items nearby, nothing will happen, and the same happens to the shadows. So that means that, for example, if you create a shadow, and you move towards an item, pick the item up and throw it, if you record this and play it back, but before the shadow reaches the item itself, and you pick up the item, the shadow will simply not pick up anything. It will still reproduce the pick up and throw input, but it will find no items, so the system itself will not throw anything. But if there is another item close to the shadow, it will pick up that item and throw that item. So it works even if the circumstances have changed, so that was fun. That makes it feel much more solid. Then I worked on the level system, so you can, when you start the level, a stage, a level, calling it levels are a bit better, but when you start a level, you will actually have no control over the main character, and you will have control over an entity called the recorder. This entity, it looks exactly like in Shadow, but it behaves exactly like the player, so you have complete control over it. And the recorder will, as its name says, it will record any actions you do while playing as the recorder, and then you will have 3 actions to change the stages. The 3 stages are previous step, next step, and execute plan. So the gameplay is based on planning a level out and then executing the said plan to finish the level as fast as possible under a specific amount of time. So when you are playing as the recorder, you can move around, you can jump, you can do any actions, whatever. And when you perform the next step action, the game will take every input you have done as the recorder, and it will create a shadow, and that shadow will have the input list, action list that you recorded. If you are not happy with how it turned out, you can action the previous step, so you can go back 1 step and that last shadow you made will be removed. You can have as many shadows as you like, and when you are finished planning, you can execute a plan in which you will regain control of the player itself, the main character, and all the shadows will spawn and do whatever you plan them to do, and so you can finish the level. After that, I felt a bit lost on what to do next. And for me, that meant that the prototype was done. If I didn't have anything in mind to do, that meant that the prototype was done. So I got started on working on the game's GDD. So I had a bit of a brainstorming session to get all my thoughts collected and put on, virtual paper, as the game had no vision or real objective before. And after creating this brainstorm, I decided to design every level that will be in the game, which consists of 3 tutorial levels and 3 main levels. And those levels are going to be quick. I believe the game will be able to be beat in less than 15 minutes or so. But I did it. I designed the 6 levels. And with that I knew, which enemies I needed to make, which items I needed to make, all that. Then I decided to write the script for the game, so I had an idea of what dialogue system I need to introduce or the cutscene system I need to implement. And so I did that. It was quite fun, and I never wrote a script before. And then I got started on actually putting my brainstorm ideas into the GDD. And that's where the week ended, because I then edited last week's video and recorded last week's voiceover. It's very confusing the way I do this, but anyway, that's how the week ended. Thank you all for the support on the last 2 videos. I very much appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter to follow daily updates about the game. You can now follow me on Mastodon as well. I created a Mastodon account. I don't plan on focusing too much on it, but it's there if anyone wants to follow me there. You can join the Discord. There are a few people there already, and I appreciate them. And that's about it. Follow me wherever you want to follow me. And I'll see you next week. Until then.